All right, Chuck Wilson, connecting the dots. Welcome back. And yes, as you know, things are heating up in Israel. We already talked about Ezekiel 38. We talked about the the war with Hezbollah and Israel preemptive strike. We don't know where this is going. We know where it's going to go someday, but we don't know where it's going at this very moment. But we're watching. Is this contractions? Is this the real deal? We'll see. We'll see if the water breaks, right? So, back, Jerusalem Post article, a general, one of the top generals, said if we had stayed in Gaza, October 7th would never have happened, said the general who led the evacuation of Gaza. And he's right. God promised that land to Israel. They had Gaza in their hand. It's their land promised by God. And he said, hang on to it. If you read the book of Joshua, supposed to take it, supposed to hang on to it. Don't give up 1 inch. Take the land. All about the book of Joshua, but they gave it up 19 years ago. Israel departed from the strip. They departed. They gave it up. And the general said this led to the disaster, and he's exactly right. It's insane to surrender any of the land. The USA talked them into giving up land a few years back under George Bush, and it's just crazy because the Palestinians' true goal is to wipe Israel out. They shouldn't give up 1 inch. In fact, a Hamas official, this was in the Jerusalem Post this week, Hamas official boasts October 7th derailed normalization process, says never to two states. There's a little tongue twister there. He says never to two states. The Hamas political bureau official Ghazi Hamad claimed that international boycotts proved October 7th was effective at halting normalization and pushing the recognition of the Palestinian statehood. Listen, he said they accomplished everything they wanted to accomplish through October 7th. Even though they're taking a pounding there in the Gaza Strip, they still accomplished it. He says this, the October 7th attacks accomplished all these things, stating that they had challenged the normalization of ties between Arab states and Israel. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to fracture the ties between Israel and the Abrahamic Accords. They wanted to torpedo that. They wanted to sink it. And that the war had sold the Palestinian cause to the West. Look at this. Look what they said. That by doing October 7th, they had sold the Palestinian cause to the West. He said Hamas would repeat October 7th again and again. This is all in the Jerusalem Post. He said, we say, long live October 7th, which has brought the Palestinian struggle to the top of the agenda of global politics. That's exactly what it's done. Hamad told the paper that thanks to Western support, and its strong economy, Israel reached the level of normalization with countries in the region to reinforce itself as an element of the region, but the attacks turned the table on this whole view. That was their goal, turning the table on the whole view. That was their goal. That is their goal. A couple more things he says here. Hamas posited that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had failed at all of his objectives in the war, returning the hostages and destroying Hamas. See, they don't care how many citizens are killed. They just want to accomplish their goals, sacrifice their people. They don't care. They don't care about lives. That's just a game they're playing. He's pointing to the weak. This is what, now he's also saying that Israel is tearing itself apart, pointing to the weekly protests for the hostage deal. Hamdan said that there is a fragmentation in Israeli society that we haven't seen before, and felt it was increasingly likely that Israel was starting to dismantle itself with internal division. See what it's trying to do? It's trying to destroy Israel internally. Netanyahu, what he wants is to reach a point where he turns Gaza into what he turned the West Bank, a very controlled area. It's going to happen. You watch. Hamad reasserted Hamas' position that having peace with Israel is not possible. I'm going to read that again. Having peace with Israel is not possible. It's a game they're playing with the West. There is not one Palestinian child who will accept peace with this occupation. So I say in a brief that we will never accept anything less than historical Palestine. That means no Israel, no Jewish nation. If you ever look at the map of Israel, and I'm going to have to show it in one of my connecting the dots. you see this, they show the Muslim countries in the Middle East, and it's this massive red land. And then here's Israel, this little pinprick that you can barely see, surrounded by the hostile Muslim nations, but they don't even want them to have that little piece of land. This is all God's doing. God has put them there for a reason. Yes, it's all a judgment. So he says, having peace with Israel is not possible. There's no chance. We will not accept anything less than the historical Palestine. We do not believe in a two-state solution. What are they preaching? Two-state. President Biden, Kamala Harris, two-state. It's crazy. Our media, two-state. But they don't believe in that. It's a game they're playing, just like they call the Muslim religion the religion of peace. Yeah. Did you know the whole entire Middle East was one time Christian? How did it go from 100% Christian to 100% Muslim, where Christians are hunted and persecuted? How did that happen? With a sword. They never converted anybody peacefully. It was with a sword. Die or convert or be our slaves. That's the only option they gave the Christians all these years ago. And still, as they're trying to take Africa and different countries, as they're infiltrating the Western European countries and the United States, that's their true goal. He said, we will never recognize Israel, and although we might accept the creation of a Palestinian state or a Palestinian entity on the 67 borders with its capital as East Jerusalem, we would never recognize Israel. We will go along with the game, but we will never recognize Israel. Our goal is to wipe them out. That is their goal. Don't buy the lie that the Palestinians are teaching, are spouting. Don't buy the lie of replacement theology that the Christian church has replaced Israel and there's no purpose for physical Israel anymore, even though there's how many prophecies that the nation of Israel will be reestablished, that the temple will be rebuilt, that the Messiah, our Messiah and theirs, will come back to Jerusalem itself. Don't buy those lies. The replacement theology is dangerous. Genesis 12:3 says, I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. Very, very important. God and Israel will win. And will we be found on God's side or the other side, fighting against his prophetic plan? More on Israel next time. Hope you tune in.